Hey guys, today we're going to make a corn chowder. If you could not tell, we are on a little soup kick in our household. It is so cold and we just want to be cozy and warm and have kind of easy meals that just warm us up in general. So we're starting with some butter. Ignore the pot, it is stained. I need to take care of it a little bit better, but it does the job, and it does great. So chopping up one yellow onion, just chopping it up fairly well. Again, this is going to be kind of a chunky soup, kind of like our cabbage soup earlier in the week. And so I just want to make sure that all of my bites are fairly consistent. We're using one of those frozen bags of carrots and celery that I chopped up. I mentioned that in the last video. It does mean that these take a little extra time to cook, a little extra time to sweat off the extra liquid from just freezing. But you saw me just kind of break apart some of the chunks that were sticking together, and honestly, you don't even know by the end that they were frozen. So I'm going in and cleaning off this potato. Again, we had a whole bag of potatoes, not a whole bag, like half a bag of potatoes that were going to go bad, and we wanted to use them before we went out of town. So I'm just chopping off the parts that are kind of starting to grow, the little potato leg things, and trying to chop these up into similar sizes. I probably would chop them a little bit finer on a normal day, but we do what we can every time. So yeah, just getting off the skin a little bit, but I think normally I'd go for kind of the size of hash brown, little diced sizes, if you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes that's hard to achieve with a russet potato. I think if you're using yellow or red potatoes, that might be a little bit easier, but do what you can. So now the vegetables are starting to soften and be a little bit more cooked down. The butter is completely melted. So I'm going to add in the garlic, measure that with your heart. Sorry, it got a little steamy there. But as soon as that starts to just look really well cooked down, I'm going to add in the gluten-free flour. This is making what I know to be a roux. I don't know if that's the correct pronunciation. I think it's French, but you really just are creating this thick paste with the cooked down vegetables and butter and flour. And that's gonna kind of create the base of your soup. So we're gonna add in this whole container of chicken broth by the end, but I'm adding it slowly at a time, just little by little, to not break apart that flour and the sticky kind of paste that it made with the vegetables, because that's creating the base for the soup like I was talking about. So you don't have to pour it into a measuring glass like I was, but I just wanted to really show you guys that I'm adding just a little bit at a time. You can see how it kind of looks like a broth, like a really thick soup at this point. I don't know. But it helps it. I don't know. I'm not adding dairy to this, so I think if you were going for a creamy dairy soup, this would not be as important, but it kind of adds the thickness that you don't get when you're not adding heavy cream. And this is kind of like a chowder recipe, I guess, so it makes sense that it's going to be a little thicker. So I'm just getting all the flour in there. I did not do this perfectly, of keeping the flour thickness together. I don't know. But it works, and it ended up being delicious, so we're going with it. Now we're going to add in 2 cans of corn. I prefer cans. I think they're cheap and easy and stay long, but you can also add frozen corn. I would maybe add less broth if I was going to add frozen corn, just because that comes with a little extra liquid. But try it out and let me know how it goes and if you made adjustments and what you did. Now I'm going to add in the potatoes, just getting everything really well mixed in there. And then we are in the home stretch here, and we'll just salt and pepper a little bit each layer as we go, and then let this do its thing. So since we did add potatoes in, an Italian seasoning, sorry about that. Since we did add potatoes in, we're gonna want to bring this to a pretty good low boil, not super big bubbles rolling boil, but enough to get the potatoes cooked through pretty quickly so that the soup doesn't have to sit here as long. However, if you have all the patience and all the time, you let it sit there for however long until those potatoes are cooked. But I brought it to a boil. Then I turned down the heat a little bit, added the lid, and I'm just going to let it sit there for probably another like 20-30 minutes. But on the side of this, I like to have some sort of like dipping bread. And so we got this gluten-free baguette in like a pack a little while ago, and I froze it because we didn't eat all of it. And we're going to finish it up today. So now I'm adding some dairy-free butter, and I'll add some salt here and some garlic. This bread is still frozen. I did not thaw it whatsoever. But I found that it does really well when you put it frozen under the broiler. It gets like toasty still without the weird gluten-free qualities that sometimes happen with toasted bread. So I would highly recommend. We're going to add some bacon to the top of this when I serve it. So I get fully cooked bacon. I don't like messing with the regular packs of bacon, and I feel like they're just as like expensive as the pre-cooked bacon that you just microwave for like 90 seconds. So I just go with that for ease. Look at that amazing toastiness. It was very warm, but I wanted to touch it to make sure that it wasn't still cold because I still doubt the frozen bread. But look at that. We have all the components of our meal. I'm just checking to make sure the potatoes were cooked all the way through so that we don't have any weird crunchiness when we bite into this. And now I'm going to plate everything. So I just like put some of it in the bowl. I know that some people at this point would like take like a quarter of the soup and put it in the blender, and then mix that back into the soup so that it's kind of thicker. But I don't know, we like it this way, and I don't like messing up another appliance. Sometimes I'll like do the blender tactic to get it a little creamier. But this works great, and it's super delicious, and we enjoyed it for 2 days. So I hope you guys like it.